Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Bitcoin hit yet another new all-time high today, not terribly far from $77,000, though it's pulled back a little bit since then, but well above the March 2024 all-time high. And I got to share the perspective from several different XRP chart analysts. You're going to love this stuff. And it seems obvious, and I think that, the people who are just irrational XRP haters, when this is all said and done, they'll just be really surprised. You and I won't be. XRP is going to hit a new all-time high in enterprise discovery. It's going to melt faces. And I'll share with you perspective from, like I said, several different XRP chart analysts in this video, including one who says that XRP is, quote, primed for a breakout, end quote. And oh my God, this is true. It has never been so primed within the last 7 years since it hit its all-time high. And look, this situation, XRP being primed for a breakout, which I absolutely buy into that narrative. Absolutely. This has been 7 years in the making, almost. I'm just rounding up. Almost 7 freaking years. And my God, we deserve what we're going to get. But before going any further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, I've got XRP at 55 cents. Bitcoin 75,936. The all-time high, which was hit today, $76,737. And I think that technically came after, and you guys might have heard this by now, but the FOMC, Federal Open Market Committee, they did actually reduce the federal funds rate by 25 basis points, which I think is what the market was pretty much expecting, but that's happened. It's on the heels of the U.S. election, which is obviously very pro-crypto. Clearly, markets anticipate this is going to be very good for business instantly. You saw what happened yesterday probably with the stock market specifically. Actually, I was going to pull this up a little bit later in the video, but the blockchain backer is highlighted here, and he shared his video, which I did watch. Confirmed breakout with Bitcoin price chart and Russell 2000 as election opens breath, federal rate cut. So from the blockchain backer's perspective, yeah, that's the breakout. It is here. And yesterday, the Russell 2000 small cap stocks increased by close to 6%. That's what we've been waiting for. There has never been an alt season without that also happening. These things occur in tandem, and that was a major move to the upside. Very dramatic here. You'll love to see it. Here we have the Crypto Fear and Greed Index at 75 out of 100, so the market is still in greed. And what's actually causing all this? And I wanted to highlight this real quick because there's really good reason that I am so optimistic about XRP specifically. And yes, we have, and we will continue to talk about XRP specific metrics, all sorts of stuff, the tightest Bollinger Bands in history, relative strength index, you name it. And I'm not a chart guy, I'm not pretending to be one, but I'm aware of this stuff. And you know what? XRP is part of something bigger, and it's called global liquidity, my friends. I've shared what's on your screen in the past. This comes from a very popular crypto analyst, 474,000 followers on X. His name is TechDev. And on July 16th of last year, he wrote, "Doesn't look like it's ever been the halving. Clever Satoshi tried to line it up, though. It's a liquidity cycle world. Bitcoin just lives in it," right? And so what we have seen is roughly every 4 years, we keep getting these highs in crypto. Now, it's not a fluke. There's something that materially is occurring in the world that causes this. It hasn't changed. It's happening now, which is why you absolutely should believe, I think, that what is by far the most probable is these liquidity cycles continuing. And as liquidity increases, people disperse them. Where do they disperse them? Well, as they have more money and they feel more confident, they go further out the risk curve. So certainly into the stock market, also into crypto. When they feel more comfortable taking on greater risk, that's when you see funds go into smaller cap stocks, and you see funds get invested, this liquidity, it gets thrown into crypto, not just Bitcoin at that point. When you have a proper alt season, it's because people are willing to take on more risk. That's why that correlation I was talking about a second ago with the Russell 2000 small cap stock index, it moves in tandem with explosion in terms of alt season. It just does. This is how people behave. And so what drives all of this? It is global liquidity. I've been saying this for the longest damn time. And I want to encourage you to watch this video. I watched this whole thing in the afternoon here. It's almost a half hour long, well worth the watch if you can take the time. I would suggest, if you're going to watch this, it's best viewed on a TV. It really is. Like, I listen to a bunch of people that, run YouTube channels, crypto and otherwise. And I do it when I'm like walking my dog or at the gym or whatever, driving. So I can't always look at the screen. And that's actually usually fine. This one is better if you can sit down and actually look at a television here. But he's highlighting the correlation between Bitcoin price action specifically, that's the chart on your screen here in this freeze frame, and global liquidity. And part of what he highlighted, and you really, if you got to, I strongly encourage you to watch this. It's from Raoul Pal, the Journeyman, former Goldman Sachs exec, and that's the name of his channel. Just type that in, it'll come on up. Raoul Pal, the Journeyman. This is the video type. Just type it in, it will pop right up. And he was highlighting, because if you're wondering, like, okay, wait, so it's 4-year cycles, but the governments around the world are actually causing this, and it's cyclical for real, like their behaviors. Why? And it comes down to ultimately how governments around the world are managing debt. And when certain expenses come due, those are actually cyclical. So that when expenses are due, that impacts when money, because obviously the dollar and everything else keeps getting debased by the government's printing it into oblivion. And it's not just the United States. And so these things happen cyclically. And he goes through in great detail exactly why that is. And so as a result of that happening, there ends up being this increase in liquidity. Those funds need to go somewhere. And that's why it's like a freaking clock, spot on. Every 4 years. Stock market goes crazy. You have an alt season. And XRP has never been so prime. So all of this coming together, this is the reason I'm the most excited I've ever been being in crypto. And I've been here for the better part of a decade at this point. This is it. This is our moment. It is coming up. And yes, you better believe XRP is going to be a part of it. Absolutely. It's going to be the whole thing, folks. It's just people going further out the risk curve, and they won't all be well-versed on every single crypto they put stuff in, just like when they go further at the risk curve in the stock market. You think that the investors are researching literally every single company? No, a lot of it's just they're purchasing ETFs. So you just get broad exposure. Well, it's conceptually similar to what happens with crypto, which is why we should be so freaking excited about this. So if you want to learn more specifically about why it's cyclical, this is the video for you. But the reason I'm taking all the time to say all this is because we're living in that now. We are at that point where the next thing that happens is a greater increase in liquidity because of behaviors of governments around the world, including the United States, China, so on and so forth. That's what drives this. That's going to happen. Like, we're living through it. It is cyclical. Debts must be paid. Money must be printed. It is happening. Printer, the printer go burr thing. I can't roll my R's. It sounds like this when I do it. That's the best I can roll my R's. But you know the meme. That is happening. Okay? That is actually happening here. And then what happens after that? And this is why I keep saying it. XRP is so under XRP. My God. It is the most undervalued top 10 coin that there is. I firmly believe that. And so what happens as money does flow in? When the money printer go brr. Well, look at this. This is a post from Rect Capital I came across, and it's right. So you have your fiat currency. People typically start by investing in Bitcoin. But then when they want to take profit, what happens to the profit? Well, some does go back to fiat, but a lot just goes into the market, but outside of Bitcoin. So large cap coins get invested in, then mid caps, low caps, then it goes back into Bitcoin, back into fiat. This is true. I've been saying this literally for years. It is what actually happens. Humans are going to behave about the same as they did several years ago, and 8 years ago, and 12 years ago. Yes, the answer is yes. We had this post from on-chain analytics firm Santiment. It wrote, as altcoins made huge runs post-US election, the rate of discussion toward crypto's top assets are directly correlating with price activity. Most eyes are still on Bitcoin as traders see whether it can surpass $80,000 by the end of the week. Ethereum has made a recent jump in discussion rate by surpassing $2,900 and slightly outperforming Bitcoin, a rare sight, on Thursday. Solana, XRP, and Doge are all a bit under the radar as the community has shifted their sights to Bitcoin and ETH, but prices are still performing well. Right. And so you just gotta wait. That's why I showed you what I showed you in this particular order in this video, this latest Moon Lambo Hot Jam. That's the order in which things occur. Liquidity increases, money goes into Bitcoin, goes into large caps. That's where XRP gets hit. And yeah, it's true. Like, you could have a huge increase in XRP price like you saw each of the last 2 cycles. Then it flattens out for X number of months, whatever it is, half a year. And then another rocket to the top. That's happened each of the last 2 cycles. But we are at that moment. XRP is not going to be hanging out in this price range much longer. It just isn't. I feel pretty damn strongly about that. See, we also had this. This is from chart analyst Jelly. Bitcoin flipped its previous all-time high into support. You'll love to see that. He highlighted at the time when he posted this in the morning. It was over $75,000. So he's saying backtest, now support. What was resistance? Then he had this from Charting Guy. If Bitcoin continues to follow prior cycles, then we likely rip hard into mid-December. Mid-December is not the top. It is just likely our next local before a 2 to 5 week correction. After that, we continue up and should have our final top in March. Okay, so we'll see if he's right about the top there. If he's wrong, maybe it's a few months even past that. But either way, this is the fun part. I hope you guys have done all the positioning that you want to do, because time is short here. If history is to rhyme with itself, this is the moment. I remember being at this point in November 4 years ago. It was very exciting. Things happened very quickly. And then the following year, 2021, especially the first half, wow, that was fun. That was wild. That's what we're on the cusp of. Then you have this from chart analyst Ali Martinez. If Bitcoin maintains support above $71,489, the next local top could be around $85,360. And I'm highlighting some select posts, but I keep seeing that type of price range spouted by tons of different analysts. So that's just what they're seeing in the charts. Number go up here. We'd be singing a very different tune if the election outcome were different. But we got what's best for crypto. Here's a post from chart analyst Crypto Michael. ETH is on the verge of a major breakout. Alts will go parabolic. Strap it. Yeah, that frequently happens. ETH starts getting hot. All sorts of other altcoins go. Yes, XRP is going to be a part of it. To anybody that doesn't think XRP will be a part of this, I want to know what their actual mental defect is. There's something wrong. It does not make sense. They're mostly just toxic, irrational XRP haters. That's the truth of it. Then there's this from chart analyst Tony Severino. Got an ETH USD chart here. He says, Ethereum ready to play catch up, $6,000 fast. So he's expecting ETH to double in price in short order. Now, maybe you don't care that much about ETH. I actually do. I care about Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, and a ton of other coins because, well, those three in particular, I've been holding for coming up on 7 years. I've held them since November of 2017. I'm happy to see that. But even if you don't hold ETH, this is what you want to see. ETH going, and money is going to cycle into everything else, including XRP. Then there was this, also from Tony Severino. XRP is primed for a breakout of relative strength index, RSI, a downtrend resistance. And the RSI here is on the bottom. Here you can see the trend going back to the all-time high, early January 2018, almost 7 freaking years ago. XRP cannot and will not stay down at this range forever in terms of price action. It's an XRP USD chart on the screen. And so it's just fascinating to see as he drew that trend line for RSI. It's at the same time that XRP has been in a multi-year symmetrical triangle. It's nearing the apex. It cannot and will not stay here forever. It's going to break one way or the other. So with global liquidity increasing, and we know what that's resulted in for every 4-year cycle, given that's the case, what do you think is likely here when this thing finally breaks, to the upside or the downside? I'm guessing to the upside by a lot. Then there's this from chart analyst Dark Defender, XRP USD. XRP bounced back from our blue support level and touched the Ichimoku weekly clouds. We are still in alignment with the 5-wave structure. The weekly RSI is about to signal a golden cross. With this golden cross and above Ichimoku clouds, where 66.49 cents stands, XRP will make history. This is the most significant milestone towards $1.88 and then $5.85. Just got to be a little bit more patient here. I could buy into that. I don't make price predictions myself. I'd just be disingenuous since I'm not a chart guy. I'd just be saying crap. I just have conviction directionally where XRP is going to go. That's that. And the whole crypto pie, this entire asset class, that increasing, of course. But just seeing how other coins historically have behaved, and including XRP when it had its biggest run in history, better part of a decade ago. These are the types of things that can happen in crypto. They have happened, including for XRP. And so to think that it won't happen for XRP ever again, to me, is silly. And it's been consolidating so long, it's just the perfect time for something like this to happen to XRP. Here's a post from chart analyst Dr. Magic. He says, good morning. ETH BTC and XRP BTC are on the higher time frame support zones while having built bullish divergences. Different setups, same result. My thesis will continue to be the same until proven otherwise. Yeah, so he absolutely is expecting, well, first of all, if you're talking in terms of dollars, yeah, new all-time high face melt stuff, absolutely. But he also believes that XRP is going to substantially outperform Bitcoin this cycle and substantially outperform ETH. I have the same expectations. XRP is undervalued. It's the most undervalued top 10 coin, period. That's just my opinion. But argue against it's artificially suppressed because of the government. Hell, I mean, yes, it's undervalued. It just is. Markets figure that stuff out. Got 2 posts from Crypto Insight UK. Is an XRP price chart. XRP battling to break out of the range it started to form in early October. Once we start to get closes above this white line, we're on for a move to 66 cents at least, in my opinion. In terms of narrative and rotation, ETH moved well yesterday because of the Trump SEC news. This will soon rotate into XRP, in my opinion. Yep, I agree with that because there's historic precedent for that. And that's why I was showing you some XRP, or rather ETH information, which I don't tend to do in my videos. It's just not my focus, even though I've been holding ETH for a very long time. But because of what I know that means. If ETH goes crazy, XRP is going to go crazy, right? Like the rotation of money through the space is a very real thing. Then he reposted that, and Crypto Insight UK wrote, we also flag these lower time frame structures on XRP BTC. And this is XRP BTC chart. And then he shared this one and XRP versus ETH this week. I discussed how I felt a bottoming pattern was forming, especially versus ETH. On both charts, we have swept the range lows and bounced hard. This makes me more confident XRP is about to liven up. Obviously, we can never be sure, but a move to 66 cents plus is imminent, in my opinion. The momentum behind the next leg will tell us what to expect after that, especially if we see Bitcoin dominance continue to lose strength, as I discussed yesterday, and take into consideration 2 things. Number 1, XRP historically breaks out when Bitcoin expands, and number 2, XRP's historic 2017 run was at the time of the last Trump election. I firmly believe it's going to come. Look, the global liquidity cycles are a very real thing. It's just that most people don't know about them. They really don't. And it does have to do with cycles of government debt and how much must be printed to manage that. And so the printers go burr, the whole thing. But yes, it spills into all of this. So I can't literally say anything pretty much in life with 100% certainty. My God, I think it's a virtual certainty this is going to happen. Stock market goes crazy. Russell 2000 expands. Bitcoin continues to go up. New all-time high. Money rotates into altcoins, including XRP. XRP hits a new all-time high under price discovery. And the reason that it makes sense to believe this is roughly the time where it's going to happen is based on the government debt and global liquidity cycles. It's just a matter of fact. It's a way of life. It's a virtual certainty. How could you not be excited? It's just that the typical person doesn't know this. And it's just how humans behave. I feel sorry for all the anti-crypto people and all the people who haven't done their research, because there's just never been an opportunity like this in the existence of our species, and like they're squandering it. And kudos to you for paying attention and understanding this stuff. And you don't have to be a genius. Like I'm just like the rest of you listening. There's nothing special about me. I'm just paying attention. And I'm not some sort of wizard. I'm always learning here. But these things, some of the stuff I'm talking about here, it's not really complex to understand. It's just not widely known. That's the thing. But it sure as hell is real. It's data, folks. That's why I was encouraging you to watch that video from Raoul Pal that I watched this afternoon. If you can watch it, especially if you can watch it on TV, and because he's got a bunch of charts he pulls up, you won't regret it. You'll see why I was so excited watching that video. It's the best thing that I watched all day, frankly. It's so exciting. And I already knew a lot of those general ideas, but the way he laid it out and articulated it and the charts that he shared, it really tied it all together with a nice little bow round. Like it was just a perfect video package. That's the reason that I spent so much time talking about it and making sure that you understand this is why I'm excited for XRP specifically. It's just XRP is so primed, and at a moment where we know that global liquidity increases. It's incredible. How could you not be excited at this moment in time? It's so cool. So we'll see what happens. My conviction is what it is. And I'd say, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'll own it. But my conviction, I think, is very well placed. I feel very good about this. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.